Let me paint a picture for you. You're sitting on the couch in your $1,800 a month apartment in Charlotte, staring at a $5,000 engagement ring in a velvet box. Your girlfriend is asleep in the bedroom. Both of you pull in around $65,000 a year. You've got student loans hanging over your head like storm clouds, car payments that never seem to end. And now, this decision. Your parents keep telling you it's the natural next step. Your married friends flood Instagram with perfect photos. But there's this voice in your head that won't shut up, whispering, what if this is the worst financial decision of my life? You love this person, you really do. But when you think about 50-50 asset splits, alimony payments, $15,000 divorce proceedings, your stomach drops. The problem isn't the love. It's that nobody ever taught you the brutal truth about marriage and money. My name is Sam, and I spend way too much time thinking about the psychology of financial decisions so you don't have to. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's what you need to understand. It's not your fault that you're confused. You've been caught in what psychologists call the hedonic adaptation trap, and there's real science behind this. Researchers followed thousands of people for years, measuring their happiness before and after marriage. What they found is uncomfortable. Yes, happiness spikes around the wedding. The honeymoon glow is real. But over time, that happiness slides right back to where it was before. Your brain adapts. The same person who made your heart race becomes part of your normal. This isn't cynicism, it's biology. You're not selfish for questioning all of this. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Protect you from making a life-altering decision based purely on a temporary emotional high. The real enemy here isn't marriage itself. It's the cultural fairy tale that sold you marriage as a happily ever after, without mentioning the statistics. Most couples argue about money, over and over again. Many women see their income drop dramatically after divorce. Love, on its own, doesn't shield you from legal fees, income shocks, or years of financial recovery. The story you were told is that love conquers all. The reality is that love plus poor financial decisions can turn into a slow-motion train wreck. So why do smart, capable people walk straight into this? Behavioral economics has a brutal answer. There's a concept called the sunk cost fallacy. Once you've poured time, money, and emotion into a relationship, your brain starts whispering, you can't leave now, you've invested too much. You stop asking, does this make me happy today? And start thinking, I've already given 5 years of my life to this person. I can't just walk away. That's not logic. That's a glitch. It keeps people stuck in relationships that no longer serve them, purely because the past feels too heavy to abandon. At the same time, there's another layer, the very real legal and financial benefits that marriage can offer. Married couples get tax breaks, better access to certain benefits, easier estate planning, and more than 1,000 small advantages single people don't have. On paper, it looks like a financial win, but here's the catch. Those benefits only pay off if the relationship is stable, intentional, and financially aligned. If you walk into marriage on autopilot, driven by pressure, fear of being alone, or social expectations, you're gambling those benefits against the very real possibility of a messy, expensive exit. So let's do the math. Imagine 2 paths over the next 30 years. Path 1, traditional, unplanned marriage. You spend $30,000 on a wedding. That's actually conservative in today's world, where many weddings cost even more. It's one day. A beautiful day, sure, but still one day. You and your partner make a combined $130,000 a year. You file jointly, you enjoy tax perks. On the surface, it feels smart enough. But lurking in the background is a coin flip. Roughly half of marriages don't make it. Let's say yours ends after 10 years. You pay $15,000 in divorce costs, if not more. One of you moves out. 2 households now have to be funded on the same combined income. If you're the lower earner, your lifestyle can get cut in half overnight. The emotional cost is enormous. The financial cost is worse than it looks at first glance. Because here's the invisible part. The ghost wealth. That $30,000 you dropped on a wedding, if you had invested it in a broad stock index averaging around 10% a year, in 30 years, it could grow to over $500,000. $500,000. Gone. Converted into flowers, catering, a dress, photography, and a venue you'll only see again in pictures. Let that sink in. $500,000 of potential future freedom traded for one day. That is the invisible cost. That's the price tag nobody prints on the side of the champagne bottle. Now, let's look at path 2, strategic cohabitation plus investment. Instead of a big wedding, you move in together intentionally. You run the numbers. As two separate people, you'd each be paying full rent, full utilities, full everything. Together, you share those costs. In many cities, that can easily mean saving around $5,000 or more per year per person compared to living alone. You skip the $30,000 wedding and invest that money instead. You both commit to clarity and autonomy. Separate retirement accounts, separate emergency funds, transparent conversations. If the relationship works and you both still want marriage later, you'll do it with a much stronger financial base. If it doesn't, you walk away without legal warfare or forced asset splits. The emotional pain is still real, but you're not financially shattered on top of it. Now widen the lens. Imagine a woman earning $80,000 a year over her lifetime. If she's single, she may pay significantly more in taxes and expenses compared to a financially smart, stable, married couple. Over decades, that difference can climb into the high six figures or more. But if she marries impulsively and ends up divorcing, she can lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal costs, lost assets, disrupted retirement saving, and years of reduced income. This is the moral knife edge you're walking along without realizing it. Are you marrying this person because you've done the math, aligned your values, and consciously chosen the trade-offs? Or because you're following a cultural script that could quietly be worth $1 million? So what's the way out of this trap? Start with the prenup rule. If you can't sit down with the person you love and calmly talk about a prenuptial agreement, you're not ready for marriage. Not emotionally, not financially. A prenup isn't a plan to divorce. It's a plan to be honest. It forces both of you to say out loud what you believe is fair, what you're afraid of, what you're bringing into the relationship, and what you expect to happen if life goes sideways. If a simple conversation about protecting each other's futures blows up into a crisis, that's a preview of how every financial conflict will feel later. The truth is, real love can withstand uncomfortable conversations. It doesn't need denial to survive. Next comes the 401k test. Both of you should be actively contributing to your own retirement accounts. Both of you should have your own emergency funds with at least 6 months of living expenses. Not because you're planning to leave, because you're adults. Dependence is not romance. When one person is financially dependent on the other, resentment quietly accumulates underneath the surface. Power dynamics get skewed. Decisions become less about what's right for the relationship and more about who controls the money. Two financially independent people choosing each other daily is far more powerful than two people stuck because neither can afford to be alone. Then there's the alignment audit. Before rings, before venues, before save the dates, you sit down and you run what is essentially a financial compatibility test. You ask each other, how much debt do you have? What's your credit score? What's your philosophy on debt? Necessary tool or necessary evil? How much do you think we should save every month? What does too expensive mean to you? Is it a $200 dinner? A $3,000 vacation? A $50,000 car? How do you feel about lending money to family? What does retirement look like in your mind? 65 on the dot? Or earlier? Or never? You will be shocked how quickly hidden fault lines appear in this conversation. Most couples never have this talk until after they're already legally bound, financially entangled, and emotionally exhausted. Then the fights start. One partner thinks a new car is deserved after a promotion. The other sees it as financial insanity. One wants to help a sibling with a big loan. The other sees it as a threat to their own security. One wants to invest aggressively. The other wants cash in the bank. These are not small differences. These are fundamentally different operating systems for life. If you don't audit that alignment before you marry, you're not choosing a spouse. You're choosing years of recurring conflict. So where does this leave you, sitting on that couch in Charlotte with the ring in the box? It leaves you with a different question than the one you started with. The question is not simply, should I get married? The real question is, am I willing to build a financial system as strong as my emotional commitment? Because marriage is not just a romantic decision. It is the largest financial contract most people will ever sign. Bigger than any loan, bigger than any job offer, bigger than any house. You're not just choosing a partner. You're choosing a co-CEO of your life. Marriage isn't love versus logic. It's love with logic. The most beautiful moments of partnership aren't the ones captured on a $30,000 wedding day. They're the quiet nights when the two of you sit at the table, open your accounts, talk about early retirement at 50, and design a life where both of you feel safe, respected, and free. That's romance. That's commitment. Rings and dresses fade. A shared, intentional financial plan compounds over decades. In the end, freedom doesn't come from whether you're single, dating, or married. It comes from waking up next to someone who understands that each financial decision is either tightening your cage or loosening it. Together, you can be financially free or financially trapped. The love was never the problem. The problem was thinking love alone was enough. If this video helped you see your finances differently, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges how you think about money. I'll see you in the next one.